Jason Myers delivered one of the most remarkable kicking performances in Super Bowl history, turning Super Bowl LX into a personal record-setting night and cementing his place among the greatest postseason specialists the NFL has ever seen. In a championship game defined by defense, patience, and the scarcity of touchdowns, Myers' accuracy and consistency became one of the defining factors in the Seattle Seahawks' victory over the New England Patriots. From the opening quarter, it was clear that points would be hard to come by. Both defenses controlled the tempo, limited explosive plays, and forced offenses to earn every inch of field position. In that environment, every scoring opportunity carried enormous weight, and Seattle leaned heavily on Myers to capitalize whenever drives stalled. He responded with calm precision, opening the scoring with a 33-yard field goal at the 11:58 mark of the first quarter to give the Seahawks an early 3-0 lead. It was a modest start on the surface, but it set the tone for what would become a historic night. As the game progressed into the second quarter, the pattern remained the same. Seattle moved the ball methodically but found the Patriots' defense stiffening near the red zone. Again, Myers was called upon, and again he delivered. His 39-yard field goal at the 11:16 mark of the second quarter extended the lead to 6-0. Late in the half, with the pressure of time winding down and the opportunity to seize momentum before halftime, Myers drilled a 41-yard kick with just 11 seconds remaining. That kick sent Seattle into the locker room with a 9-0 advantage and underscored how completely the game revolved around execution in the kicking game. By halftime, Myers had already made 3 field goals, accounting for all of Seattle's points. In many Super Bowls, that might already be a notable stat. In this one, it was only the beginning. The third quarter continued in the same defensive-heavy fashion, with neither offense able to consistently break through. Midway through the quarter, Myers was again summoned, this time from 41 yards at the 9:12 mark. He converted without hesitation, pushing Seattle's lead to 12-0 and tying him with 4 other kickers for the most field goals made in a single Super Bowl. That tie alone placed Myers in elite company. Historically, 4 field goals in a Super Bowl has been an extremely rare accomplishment. For decades, it was a feat almost unheard of, achieved only a handful of times across the first 50-plus years of the game. What made Myers' performance even more striking was that this marked the 3rd consecutive Super Bowl in which a kicker had reached that 4 field goal mark, highlighting a recent trend of championship games where defenses tighten, touchdowns become scarce, and kickers shoulder a greater share of the scoring burden. The record-breaking moment came in the fourth quarter. With Seattle holding control of the game and the Patriots struggling to mount any sustained offense, Myers lined up once more at the 5:35 mark. He split the uprights again, this time for his 5th field goal of the night, extending Seattle's lead to 22-7 and standing alone in Super Bowl history. No kicker had ever made 5 field goals in a single Super Bowl before. In that moment, Myers separated himself from every kicker who had come before him on the game's biggest stage. The historical context of that achievement adds to its significance. Before the recent string of Super Bowls featuring 4 field goal performances, the feat had not been accomplished in more than 40 years. Ray Wersching of the San Francisco 49ers did it in Super Bowl 16 following the 1981 season, helping lead the 49ers to a 26-21 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Even further back, Don Chandler of the Green Bay Packers became the first player to kick 4 field goals in a Super Bowl, doing so in Super Bowl II, following the 1967 season during a 33-14 win over the Oakland Raiders. In more recent history, Philadelphia Eagles kicker Jake Elliott made 4 field goals in Super Bowl likes during a 40-22 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, and Kansas City's Harrison Butker matched that total in Super Bowl Elevate during the Chiefs' 25-22 overtime win against the San Francisco 49ers. Those performances were impressive in their own right, but Myers went a step further, pushing past the 4 field goal benchmark and setting a new standard altogether. What made Myers' night particularly remarkable was not just the volume of kicks, but the circumstances surrounding them. Each field goal came in a high-pressure situation where points were at a premium. There were no meaningless scores or late game stat padding. Every kick mattered. Each successful attempt widened the gap, shifted momentum, and increased the pressure on New England's offense to respond in a game where moving the ball was already a challenge. The distances themselves, also told a story. Myers's kicks were not chip shots from inside the 20-yard line. They ranged from the low 30s to over 40 yards, requiring consistency in mechanics and mental focus throughout the night. Over the course of the game, the cumulative distance of his made field goals set another Super Bowl record, underscoring both his leg strength and accuracy. Beyond the single-game records, Myers' Super Bowl performance capped off a season that was historic in its own right. Throughout the year, he had been a central figure in Seattle's success, providing reliability in close games and often serving as the difference in tightly contested matchups. His ability to consistently convert scoring opportunities allowed the Seahawks to play a complementary style of football, trusting their defense while knowing that points would follow when drives reached scoring range. In the broader narrative of Super Bowl LX, Myers' 5 field goals symbolized the nature of the game itself. This was not a shootout or an offensive showcase. It was a battle of discipline, execution, and endurance. The Seahawks won by controlling the fundamentals, winning field position, and capitalizing on every scoring chance. Myers embodied that approach, delivering perfection when perfection was required. Historically, kickers have often been remembered in Super Bowls for missed kicks or last-second heroics. Myers' performance stands out because it was sustained excellence over 4 quarters. There was no single dramatic moment, no buzzer beater to decide the game. Instead, there was a steady accumulation of points, each kick building on the last, gradually suffocating the opposition. By the time the final whistle blew, Myers had not only helped secure a championship for Seattle, but had also rewritten the Super Bowl record book. 5 field goals in a Super Bowl is a mark that may stand for decades, particularly given how rare the conditions must be for a kicker to even have that many opportunities in a championship game. In the end, Super Bowl LX will be remembered as a defensive masterpiece by the Seahawks, but it will also be remembered as the night Jason Myers delivered one of the greatest kicking performances the NFL has ever seen. In a game where touchdowns were scarce and pressure was constant, Myers was flawless, reliable, and historic. His 5 field goals did more than add points to the scoreboard. They defined the game, shaped its outcome, and secured his legacy on football's biggest stage. Jason Myers delivered one of the most remarkable kicking performances in Super Bowl history, turning Super Bowl LX into a personal record-setting night and cementing his place among the greatest postseason specialists the NFL has ever seen. In a championship game defined by defense, patience, and the scarcity of touchdowns, Myers' accuracy and consistency became one of the defining factors in the Seattle Seahawks' victory over the New England Patriots. From the opening quarter, it was clear that points would be hard to come by. Both defenses controlled the tempo,